to start off with a few sentences from Psalms. Adonai ma adam v'tedoehu, ben anoish v'techashvehu, adam lehevel dama, yamav kitzal oiver ziramtam shena yihiyu b'beker kachatze yachaloif, b'beker yatzis v'chalaf, l'erev yimelo v'yavesh, yameshnu usein b'hem shivim shana, v'megvurish menim shana v'rahabam amal v'aven, ki gaz chish v'na'ufa milam nois yamenu kein hoida, v'navi levav chachma, shmar tamu re'ei yishar, ki achris le'is shalayim, Achalihim yiften afshim yad she'ol ki kecheni sela. Poida Adonai nefesh avadav v'la yishmu kol ha'chaisim boi. V'yashoiv hel afar al ha'aretz keshahaya v'haruach tashuv el ha'elohim asher nesana. God, what is man that you recognize him, or the son of man that you deal with him? Man is like a breath, his days are like a passing shadow. You flood them away, they become sleep-like. By morning they are like grass which withers. In the morning it blossoms and it renews. In the evening it cuts and dries out. The days of our years among them are 70, and if with strength 80. Their proudest success is but toil and trouble, for it is cut off, and we swiftly depart. Teach us to number our days, so that we may acquire a heart of wisdom. Fix your attention on the perfect man, for the end of that man is peace. But surely God will ransom my soul from the grave, for he will receive me indeed. God redeems the soul of his servants, and those who take refuge in him will not be guilty. The dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns to God who gave it. Today is Hanukkah. Hanukkah, we celebrate the victory of one family against the Greek army. We remember the miracle of the one jug of oil that was found, that illuminated for 8 days. We light every night one additional candle to remember that miracle. And we're gathered here together to remember one woman. From that one woman, 2 wonderful children, Linda and Ronald. Grandchildren, Marcy, Jeremy, Kerry, Mark, among others. Great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren. Although that one candle is no longer with us, it ignited generations. Our rabbis tell us, Ner Hashem Nishmas Adam. The neshama is compared to a candle. God gives us a body, puts the soul, the neshama, in that body, and we have a few years to spend time in this world trying to collect as many good deeds as possible. When a person passes on, so there's a split. The body is buried, but the soul goes up to heaven. God looks at all the good deeds that person did and gives them due credit. Now, we don't eulogize on Hanukkah because it's a happy time, but we can mention special qualities of the person that passed on so we can learn from them. I think it's important that we all remember Grandma as young and strong. And if we can remember back to those times, the love she had for her family, and especially for her husband, and the care she had for him. The Talmud relates that a kosher woman, an isha keshera, ha'oisa ritzayin ba'ala, a kosher woman is one who does the will of her husband, who takes care of her husband, who's consistently remembering her husband, who has that strong relationship with her husband. That's the strongest power for her husband, and for her family. And that's what Helen was all about. Her love, and her family, and her husband, her children, her grandchildren. The rabbis tell us that if we take upon ourselves things that she was strong in, her qualities, and we emulate her ways, we raise her soul in the heavens. I think that's a beautiful thing we can do to keep the light of this one woman burning forever, remembering her by emulating her ways. I'm going to ask Ronald to say a few words.
The rabbi said, today, because of the holiday, I should focus on life lessons. And as you know, my mom's been in Montefiore for over 25 years. So thinking back to life lessons, you have to really go back to when we were much younger. So many of the kids and grandkids only know my mom as the Baba in the old folks' home. They didn't have the pleasure of knowing her when I knew her as a kid. And I think back about the life lessons, and probably the first lesson my mom taught me to pass on will surprise most of you. But it was about working hard, and focusing on that. My dad was a salesman. He taught me to talk. My mom taught me the lesson of working very hard to get what you have to do. People don't remember she had a high school education and then became a waitress, did whatever she had to do, and somehow became a bookkeeper and office manager. A tough lady that people kind of feared. They didn't want to get her mad because she had that temper, but she did a great job, and she instilled a lot of the hard work ethic into me. The other life lessons are much more basic. It was her love of family. We always knew that we would be at my grandpa's or at Zaida's house every holiday. Anytime we needed something, she would be there. Her and my dad both. So really, second life lesson she taught me was family. But the most important life lesson she taught was the one the rabbi mentioned. She loved her husband. They were dedicated to each other, and it showed. All she talked about after she got in that old folks' home was her husband. She'd talk about family sometimes, but she missed Ernie. It was all about, I miss Ernie, the love indeed. I remember as a kid the number of times that on a Saturday I'd go on a date, and besides the fact that she'd scare my girlfriend, quite blankly she would, and tell her that she had to behave. And then I'd look at her and my dad and say, why aren't you going out? And they'd look at me and say, we are. They're staying home together. It was all about that union, that love for each other. So from the standpoint of where we are today, in my mom's eyes, she's going back to join Ernie. Thank you. Thank you all for coming today. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. My family, thank you.
The family will receive friends at the residence of Linda Emerman, 4021 Verona Road in South Euclid, following services today until 6 p.m. Friends who wish may contribute to the Montefiore Home, 1 David Myers Parkway, Beechwood, Ohio, 44122.